Welcome to this session on PHP object-oriented programming focusing on traits. We will explore code reuse with traits, a horizontal code reuse mechanism for modern PHP development. So, what exactly are traits? Traits are a mechanism for code reuse in single inheritance languages like PHP. They enable horizontal composition of behavior, allowing you to reuse methods in multiple classes independently of the inheritance hierarchy. Let's look at the basic syntax for defining and using a trait. Here we define a trait named logger with a public function log that takes a string message as an argument and echoes log, followed by the message. Then we create a class named user and use the trait logger inside it. This means the user class now has access to the log method defined in the logger trait. Traits become even more powerful when you use multiple traits in a single class. Here's how. Suppose we have two traits, logger and validator. The logger trait has a method log, and the validator trait has a method validate. We can then create a class called product and use both the logger and validator traits. Now the product class has access to both the log method from the logger trait and the validate method from the validator trait. When using traits, you might encounter conflicts, specifically method name collisions. This happens when multiple traits have methods with the same name. PHP cannot decide which one to use, leading to an error. Here's an example of a conflict. We have two traits A and B, both of which have a method called process. If we then create a class called myClass and try to use both traits A and B, PHP will throw a fatal error, because it doesn't know whether to use the process method from trait A or trait B. This is a conflict that needs to be resolved. To resolve conflicts, you can use the insteadof operator. In this example, we're using both traits A and B in the myClass class. To resolve the conflict between the two process methods, we specify that we want to use the process method from trait A instead of the one from trait B. Now myClass will use trait A's process method. When we create an object of myClass and call the process method, it calls A's process method. Another way to resolve conflicts is by using the as operator to alias one of the conflicting methods. In this example, we're using both traits A and B in the myClass class. We use the process method from trait A instead of the one from trait B, and we also rename the process method from trait B to process B. Now both methods are available with different names. The process method will call A's method, and the process B method will call B's method. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.